what is going on? It's me, Captain Files. Today we are live action. You already know what it is. Here to bring you my review of Bleach episode 31 of season 3, titled Against the Judgment. So kicking things off, one of the things I noticed is that they added in this interesting touch. We see before the sword form with Bunkai, she activated her Shikai. Now there are a few characters and moments that we've actually seen that just went from sealed Zanpakuto to straight to Bunkai, because in the manga she didn't activate Shikai. She's automatically went Bunkai. So is this Kubo way of saying that Soifon isn't on that level yet where she can just go straight from sealed to Bunkai? A perfect example. We've seen him go from sealed Zanpakuto straight to Bunkai plenty of times. So I also noticed that they removed little silly moments between Soifon and Omeda, and it seemed like they swapped it out because we got to see Shino and Yuki. We didn't get to see that in the manga. I thought it was cool because all throughout this episode we've seen a lot of extra Soul Reapers that we didn't see in such a long time. And I like how we got an extra close-up on the little creatures that was coming from the torrent of the Soul King, you know, the new Soul King Bach. And we see Yumachiki, Kaku, and Asagi doing their thing. And I noticed when Byakuya did the scatter, the Zenbun Zakura, in the manga, it seemed like it didn't get pushed back. Unless I'm looking at it wrong. But in the anime, it looked like it got pushed back, which makes perfect sense. I mean, Byakuya, he's one of my favorite characters. Yeah, he had his training. He's a lot stronger. I mean, just look at, that's just the Shikai. He just, look how tall it is. Look how many petals it is just going up against the turret. But it still can't go up against the turret from the Soul King. Yes, for with episode 31, we all know Aizen stole the show. You know how it is. At some points in each episode, when you know what's going to happen, you're looking for that one moment, that one move, that one conversation that's just going to steal the whole episode, unless it's something new that we've never seen before. So with this episode, of course, it was Aizen. And man, for the most part, it was spot on with the manga. They didn't really swap out or add too many things, you know. Angles were perfect. Actually, the little effects they added in was a lot better than what I seen in the manga. And what killed me, Rukia basically almost died. Yeah, when he went to shoot down the soul, the palace, how she went running towards him. Shunsu had to stop her. I'm like, Rukia, what were you gonna do? What were you gonna do? That was one of the dumbest things, if not the dumbest thing Rukia has ever done. Now, for all you Rukia lovers, someone's just saying, well, it was just out of reaction. Come on now. Like, little stuff like that. I mean, now, you could say she wasn't aware that if she get that close to him, she would die. Well, she would, you know what they say, after all, they found out. But I just thought that was the dumbest move on Rukia's end. But yeah, Aizen, spot on, effects, visuals, the Black Coffin Hado 90, it was just flawless, perfect. And it still amazes me how Nana was able to do that with Aizen. I like how Kubo threw that in. He said, I don't know if it's because of the black suit he's wearing, you know, but he can see all the holes because how he made Aizen pass out like that. I thought that was crazy. But I mean, you know, so in the anime with Grimjaw was getting ready to come through the Garganta, I noticed it was a lot better to see in the anime. In the manga, yeah, they showed the back of his foot, the footsteps, etc. You can see like little cracks through it was getting ready to open, but in the anime, it was just a lot better. Especially how they showed him getting ready, cracking the neck. That I like. Now for me, there were three major things that made this episode. So the first one we already discussed, the arrival of Aizen, flawless, 10 out of 10. They did not disappoint. Nothing was weird, awkward, or out of place. It was spot on. And the second one was all this new footage that they showed. And Shunsu, man, he actually gathered all the available Soul Reapers. You know, he ripped out the Soul Motorola and he contacted all of them to get their spiritual pressure to open up the gate again. I actually like that moment because we actually got to see some characters we haven't seen in quite a while. And within this moment of all the Soul Reapers gathering up, we actually got to see Zenosuke, Rikichi, who else? Yasuchika, and I don't know why he slightly resembles Miller to me from Metal Gear. I don't know why. That's just me. But also we got to see Mashiro. You know, it's always good to see some visors. Hopefully Kubo will have them do more. And last but not least, Makizo, of course, how they called him in the Soul Society arc. Mini Mustache or Mr. Mini Mustache. That part always made me laugh when I first seen it. And speaking of Squad 11, now we get to see Kenpachi show up, which was done a long time ago in the manga. But of course, he's looking for Ichiru. He doesn't care about opening up this gate using spiritual pressure. And this part right here, maybe it was Kubo's way of showing how strong and now has grown. You know, remember when old man Yama, all he did was just make eye contact on it, just raise the spiritual pressure. She damn near had a panic attack. You know, now she's getting tough with Kenpachi. I get it. She's right. Even he admitted she was right. Look, now is not the time. Look, they will cover more ground. You're a valuable asset. We need your spiritual pressure, especially to help open up this gate. In the way she just standing there, just I'm like, come on now. Now you know you're not tough like that. I'm pretty sure she's become more brave since then, but I just wasn't buying it. And also, I think in a manga, he was stopped. I don't know, by Aikido or one of the security systems in the lab. I have to look it up again to refresh my memory, but yeah, I'm glad they kept that in there, even though it was done at an earlier point in the manga. And yes, then we finally got to see the visor show up. The rest of them, Love, Lisa, Hiyori, Hachi, and that's when they, poured out that special liquid, even though it didn't feel like liquid, but it looked like it, to help with the whole process to speed up. Now, one moment I am glad they kept in there when they show Hiyori and Shinji bickering. You have to leave that in. They are known for bickering. It seemed like Ichigo and Renji and Ichigo and Uryu, they were always known for the bickering. A little bit between Ichigo and Rukia, but when it comes to Shinji and Hiyori, that's just how it is. Like any moments with Miyuri and Urahara, but I like that little insult and joke that he put towards Soy Phone regarding her bowl haircut. That I did like. So that guitar solo, when it all came time for them to actually go to the gate, for him to give the speech, man, especially I think the moment, especially when Kenpachi started talking. I mean, the whole guitar solo was cool, but when that part when Kenpachi started talking, whoever was on the guitar, man, he was killing it. And it is an actual remix. We've been hearing this ever since the anime has come, returned. These are remixes of the original soundtrack that we've all come to know and love throughout Bleach, and I love it. I don't know, man. Some like the original soundtrack more, some like this one better. I think it's 50-50 because, time skip, new animation, new quality, new director. Kubo, he's really have his hands on this one. So I like how they add that new flair, but it's not alienating the OG Bleach fans who are used to the original soundtrack. So it's giving something for the new viewers as well as the OG viewers. And it all works in my opinion. And then we cut to Ichigo, and I noticed the major difference between the anime and the manga. In the manga, Ichigo wakes up, he remembers when Uryu shoots him, he grabs the arrow, crushes it. We see that Orihime, she catches everyone with her Satsun Keshin, but Yoruichi also helped by shooting these harpoon arrow type things and snagged them and stopped the fall and pulled them back up. And it cuts to the whole comedy fashion between them and Kon, etc. I noticed that, and then Grimmjow shows up at the end. So in the anime, Ichigo woke up questioning if Uryu actually betrayed him. And it just kills me how this whole time Kon was inside of Ichigo's role. Like, come on now. All that fighting and moving, like, maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe I missed something or overlooked something. I'm like, so he couldn't tell that I'm not trying to overthink it. I'm like, when did he put him in there? He didn't feel that he was in there. Whatever. But of course, in the anime, Kon is what broke the fall. He thought he was dead. They had the little slight comedy moment. And my favorite part, the Aizen part was cool. That was one. Remember I said it was 3 things that made this episode for me. The Aizen part was cool. All the new footage, that was cool. How he was giving them, Shunts was giving a motivational Lord of the Rings type speech. Everyone getting hyped up and riled up. It's when we sing finally my boy Grimmjow. Man, and I thought about this moment for years. Actually, a lot of these moments for years. How it's going to be done in the anime. They switched out a panel. I mean, they switched some things around, added a little bit of stuff. You have to have read that panel so many times. In the manga, Ichigo, he reaches for a sword. His sword is already on the ground. It's Zanpakuto. In the manga, he already had it ready. Whatever, that's cool, that's fine. But they nailed it to me, man. I liked it. They didn't have Grimmjow looking weird or funny. I mean, you can tell there's certain characters or moments or angles, they just have to really put their all into it. Since the beginning of the Bleach anime, I've seen people, mainly on Twitter, the Bleach haters taking jabs and hater shots. They will screenshot certain moments or angles where the faces look off. When the epic fights, when they're moving real fast and freeze framing, their jaw looks distorted or warped or something. They try to do that, then they want to clown the studios. But nah, since Bleach has been back, these studios have been working hard. If you're gonna complain, it has to just be nitpicks, and the nitpicks are just so irrelevant because the overall grand scheme of things, how good the quality and consistency that the Bleach anime has been giving us, it's like, nah, it's like, just leave it alone. So they did this Grimmjow thing perfect. So when all this happened in the manga, and it really gave me that better, greater sense in the anime, is just how much of a threat Bach has become. Now, we've seen this before in other type of stories when all the races have to come together. You have the Fullbringers that's joined the fray. That happened on the next episode. You have, Spotty, the Rancars. You have the Quincy's, the Soul Reapers. You have Ichigo. He's a mixture of everything. Everyone has to come together because Baki's threatening all of the world. So that's how you know it is real. And I like how they all put their differences aside for the most part. But it's just that typical thing, especially what Grimjow says later on. He said, nah, we're not on teams. I'm not helping you out. It's just, if Hueco gets destroyed, if I die, how can I kill you? It's one of those type of things. So overall, I love the pacing, the lighting, the new footage, the angles, everything. This episode technically was perfect. And I'm going to end it off with this. This is a prime example of how, to me, Bleach can be so good even with no fighting. Technically, there was no fighting in this episode, but it was so good. It didn't feel slow. It didn't feel dragged out. And the more I see these episodes, when I go back and read the manga, especially in comparison, you felt it a little bit that it was rushed to me. But when you watch the anime and go back and read the manga, you can really, it really feels like the manga was super rushed, like the last arc, man. And I just love it. See, a lot of people, they have that mindset where they just need action, action, action. I call that the Fast and the Furious mindset. Or in some cases, I know I'm about to get shit for this. Sometimes I call it the Dragon Ball mindset, where you just need mindless action, constant fighting. No substance, no nothing. Because I bet money, if there were some episodes in Dragon Ball where there were no fighting, some of the Dragon Ball fans would say, oh, this is boring, nothing happened. I actually seen other reviewers, just back when I used to watch a whole bunch of Bleach reviewers back in the day. It would be good chapters. We would get new revelations, the story would move forward, but there would be no fighting, and they would sit there and actually have the audacity to say, oh, I give this a 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5. Nothing happened. So when there's no fighting, nothing happened in the story, come on, man. I know everybody's mindset is different, but nah. This is a prime example of how, to me and for me, Bleach is just good like that. Like, yes, animate the novels. It was times I was reading the novels, it wasn't a lot of fighting going on, but I would still love to sit back and watch that animated. See the dialogue, read it, understand it, take it in. Just to be embraced in that much more lore of Bleach. So that's my whole take on the Elites. Let me know down below, did you like this episode? Did you not like it because there was no fighting? Give me your thoughts, comments, and concerns. Thank you so much. See you on the next episode. It's me, Captain Vazardace, signing out.